There's 3.8 billion people on Meta platforms every single month. That's half the planet.
Hmm.
And
Well, and half
advertising,
of the planet is living on less than $2 a day. So we'll say that Meta has 100% of the commercially viable planet.
good point. I don't think there's much more expansion you can really do.
Yeah. George Friedman talks about this. I just read his book, by the way. It was phenomenal. Where is it? I think it's The Storm Before the Calm by George Friedman. And he's a geopolitical strategist who's very middle of the road. He's not like a sensationalist, like a Peter Zeihan, or even like a Ray Dalio. Like he views things a little bit more calmly. And what he said about technology was so impactful. He said that technology will only have the economic impact consistent with its ability to make changes in our day-to-day lives. And so in the very beginning, something like Meta rolls out, or Facebook, or before Facebook, Friendster, or whatever, and the impact that had on our lives was staggering. And so it has a staggering impact on one person's life. So there's the x-axis, let's say, but then there's the number of people who can it impact. So there's the y-axis. And so now it's the amount of impact per person and the number of people impacted. And when you see things like that, you see this opportunity to exponentially impact humanity, but it tapers.
Yeah.
And we just saw, kind of like you just said it, man, it's the end of the taper.
Yeah.
So and with the taper comes stasis, and with stasis comes efficiency, and with efficiency comes massive commoditization. And really what that means is Meta today is a whole lot like television was in the 70s and 80s. It was a ubiquitous truth and a prerequisite. If you were going to advertise, you had to be on TV. Had to.
Mm-hmm.
But because they got so efficient with it, it became really hard to break into. And so I think what we're seeing happen, and this is happening inside of it, I think it happened in Google before it happened in Meta, is we're seeing small businesses priced out.
Yeah.
Because of this, small businesses can't have this conversation. You can't be a small business talking about brand performance.
Can't.
Dude, you remember you used to be able to spend $500 a month in Facebook and get real results.
Yeah.
Like you could do something, and then 500 became $2,000, and $2,000 became $5,000. And what's y'all's minimum ad spend right now? What's the lowest you'll take a client?
I mean, we'll start brands that don't have any spend, but have that's a trick question.
Okay.
I mean, the average company for us spends, oh God, probably anywhere from 50 to a couple
Yeah,
$100,000
our average
per
is
month.
52. Our average is 50. Our top side is
Yeah.
seven figures, but we won't take anybody less than 10 grand. Well, if they're less than 10 grand, we call it an incubator account. And they basically have to sign in blood that they know this is doomed to fail. And if it succeeds, it's a gift from God.
Yeah. Yeah. The caveat to that are companies that are either venture, angel, or private equity backed that want to launch in the US
Mm,
and have runway for it. Like you have to have a marketing budget to be able to successfully navigate the digital marketing landscape. Or the other side to that is I've got a great offline. We're talking to a customer right now that spends $500,000 a month on direct mail, but no digital. So a very
dude,
successful business.
those are my favorite
So that's
customers.
all you do is you take what they are doing. It's kind of a
Right.
simple formula, and they'll be a great client for us. Is like that type of. It's so simple. I don't think it's simple, but it's in a
Simpler
challenging.
than
It's
not
in,
having that.
it's in a challenging niche. You have a successful business. You want to translate that over, not replace your direct response. They want to use this as an adjunct. So, trick question there. Both of those, the venture backed, want to launch in the U.S., or they don't even necessarily have to be venture backed, but like have runway, have some
Hmm.
money to be able to spend. But then the other one, successful business, want to go online. Both of those have zero ad spend. Now it's the local regional business that we would then defer off to our local regional division, like our startup division, and they would be able to help them. But for tier 11 proper, yeah, you got to have some ad spend, which basically shows that you have a product or an offer that resonates with the market. And that typically starts with like 10 to 30 grand per month in spend. It sort of depends. We'll do an analysis of it and everything else, but that just shows you've got a valid product. Unless you're just burning money, which does happen on
Dude,
occasion
I've
as
got
well.
those clients too. I've had those
Yeah.
clients that are like belligerently convinced that that they're misunderstood.
Hmm.
And I hate to laugh, but I've had to tell people I'm not running these ads anymore. I don't want to take your money because this is painful to watch. It's painful to watch you punish yourself this way.
Yeah.
Um,
There's some businesses that just shouldn't be advertising because their products suck.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. We
Sorry.
had a client in the SaaS space who like was convinced that he was going to take on these major players and was just as good. And dude, he had uptime problems. Have you ever had a SaaS product have you ever used a SaaS product that had uptime problems? You know what I
It's the
mean?
most
It's like, I will
frustrating thing in the
never
world.
come back here
Yeah.
again, ever. If
Right.
ClickUp is down for 60 seconds, it is the end of the world as we know it. And there's no coming back from that. And I'll remember it for the rest of my life. And I'm going to be
Hold it
like,
against them.
yes, you can't be a SaaS. And it was every couple of days for him. Like you just
Yeah.
couldn't log into the damn thing. And I was like, dude,
Yeah. It's like your
you have a
product
good idea
sucks.
with, yeah, you can't stop it.